because there's certain steps, there's certain things that need to be done in order for us to really take control consciously instead of allowing our subconscious mind, instead of allowing the world to actually dictate our reality.
We have the higher logic brain, the emotional brain, which plays a major part in our lives, and our reptilian brain. So we have to master these three, especially the reptilian brain, to unlock our divine powers. So everything can happen in a quantum speed. Everything. It just, we can't do it because we don't know who we are.
We are a species with amnesia. When we start to really see and understand that we are living in a movie, we are literally the director of our movie of life. And there's no good, there's no bad, there's no anything. There's only what we believe it to be.
We need to act on them, okay? We need to act on the human limitations in order to change the reality that we want to create. So,
welcome everybody, and thanks for joining us today on Reality Practice Live Q&A session with Liliana Da Cruz and myself, Joey Kramer. We're so excited to be here today. We're so excited to talk about and share the topic of reality creation, but on the idea of how we take control of our lives and how we take control of our realities. Because there's certain steps, there's certain things that need to be done in order for us to really take control consciously instead of allowing our subconscious mind, instead of allowing the world to actually dictate our reality. We're going to teach some valuable steps, some lessons today. We're going to answer your questions on exactly how to do this so that you can start becoming the sovereign leader of your life and no longer allow the subconscious mind, the traumas, the memories that don't even exist. No longer are you going to allow those to control your direction in life. You're going to start to learn how to physically manifest the things you want and desire and bring them to you. Liliana's got some great information for you today. She's laid out a lesson plan, and I'm really going to let her kind of take this away today. And I'm just going to feed off of you, Liliana. I want to hear what you have to say because I know how powerful you've been over the years of learning how to create abundance in your life, not just in wealth and money, but in health, relationships. You know, you're kind of doing you have so many moving parts here. It's amazing. And I want you to kind of, like I said, take it away from here, and I will chime in as we go, and I will let you know as questions come in as well. Richard, by the way, he's joining us. Good to see you, Richard. Thanks for hopping on, and it's all yours, Liliana.
Hey, thank you everyone to being here because I know how excited you are to learn of me. Remember, I'm not a teacher. I'm teaching no one. Everything I say is by experience. Some things I have to write down to remember every day who I am, and I want to teach you who you are because you are divine people with divine powers. You just don't know how to unlock these powers, and these powers keeps us stuck in ways that we don't like, and especially emotions that we hate. So I'm going to help you how to awaken your quantum human alchemy. How is that sound for you guys? I'm so excited.
It sounds amazing. Let's dive in.
Right. So I want to start by something very simple because everybody says, I don't know how to do it yet. Okay. Let's start by talking about healing. Yes, the healing mind. Healing is a natural side effect of our daily cleaning. I'll be reading a little bit because I've done this myself in order to enter this journey, right? So this journey has been a process of healing everything to recharge myself and to prompt my voltage that is in my body. Okay, by healing, by doing this, I was able to switch my dormant DNA on a daily basis. And a lot of us don't even recognize these things, don't know how to do them. And I can assure you by cleaning all this baggage that we have inside of us, our thoughts and emotions, especially because they are the big part of who we are, because we all consciousness, by the way, we will be able to master our three brains. Okay? Yes, three. Not many people know about those. We think you have the stomach brain. No, not talking about those brains. Okay? I wrote it down. We have the higher logic brain, the emotional brain, which plays a major part in our lives, and our reptilian brain. And the reptilian brain, we don't know how to use this energetic galactic information that is coming in at the moment to help us, I've wrote it down, to live a life of sovereignty and freedom. Okay, so we have to master these three, especially the reptilian brain, to unlock our divine powers and to command instant manifestation, because most of us don't know how to do it. So for some of you, manifestation can take years or months, but we can do this in days or weeks. Okay, so everything can happen in a quantum speed. Everything. It just, we can't do it because we don't know who we are. Because most of us do not know who we are. We can't remember who we are. Correct, Joey?
Correct. We are a species with amnesia. You know, we come back here, we don't remember who and what we truly are, our divine power. We are the creator. We're a piece of God, of spirit, however you want to call it, whoever you want to call it. The idea is we come here for a reason. We come here to learn all of these different different things, lessons that we need to learn in life. So that's why we suffer from pain, from traumas, from good, from bad. Everything we're experiencing is giving us a specific lesson that we need to learn. And what I've truly been blessed and grateful to learn is when we begin to take ourselves outside of what our mind believes we are, when we start to really see and understand that we are living in a movie. We are literally the director of our movie of life. And there's no good, there's no bad, there's no anything. There's only what we believe it to be. We have to take control of that, and we have to see it from the outside, that we are living in a movie and we can control any moving piece. Once we understand this, that the awareness, the belief, the faith, and that this is possible, this is how we begin to unlock the tools and the abilities that Liliana is talking about. And this is how we begin to create our reality. Yes.
It is important, guys, to clean your energy field in order to do that. Okay? Because a lot of us, we're going through the healing, but we're still healing all the time. We still keep healing, and we don't know how to unlock these powers. So cleaning our energy field is very important, because this keeps us in the reality that we choose to live. So we can play the human limitations anytime, and wait for the world to change of us. We just can't play them. We need to act on them. Okay, we need to act on the human limitations in order to change the reality that we want to create. So I basically want to say that everyone has the genie in a bottle. Every single one of us. And some of us don't actually need a coach. Some of us, I'm not saying everyone. Most people need a coach, but like me, I'm going to give you an example how I've unlocked these things without needing the coach, because I was coached before. As some viewers are here know that I was heavily involved in coaching. How did I become a coach? I'm not a teacher, I'm not nobody basically, but I'm everyone. I'm everybody. So I was able to tap into this and realize that me personally, I don't need a coach. I'm now helping people to unlock this so they can be their own coaches as well. They can be their own creators. They create their own reality by mastering their reptilian brain. So we cannot, it's important to clean this energy field, especially because in order to ascend to higher timelines, we cannot be dealing with the old belief system. So we have to play in our freedom, in our sovereignty, know exactly who you are in order to tap into this limited and negative or toxicity, we already call it the 3D. We can go back and forth, we can adapt, but we cannot, along us, when it tapped into something like this, operate on a 3D thinking no more. So you want everybody to understand what is good in here on this earth plane at the moment, so we can get out of this matrix and step into the we talked about. So stepping up to the higher realms and that all realities that we want to see ourselves in, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. I love what you said. Everybody needs a coach until if they know how to be their own coach. That's the biggest problem I think I found in the very beginning. I utilize coaches, and I've always had coaches for the past, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years. But it really was a process of developing habits, this is a practice. I think we spoke about it last week. We have to practice this thought, this awareness of who and what we are. And every time we fall back and we misstep, that's okay. That's what a coach helps us with, is to bring us into that awareness, into that reminding us, to give us strategies. But if you don't need a coach, if you're past the point of a coach, or if you just want to do it on your own, that's great. That's what these videos are for, to really help unlock the remembrance of who we are. And I wanted to say, the body as we know it, this three-dimensional body as we know it, it's only a means of transportation for our consciousness. Our consciousness is creating all the time, either from the present moment or from our memories. It's only one or the other. Now, we do have multiple brains, like you spoke of, the reptilian brain, that's kind of the subconscious brain that just acts, and that comes from our memory. That comes from the past perception of what we remember to be true and the emotions we tied to them. And then you've got the present mind, which is your conscious, normal mind as we think it. And then you have your intuitive mind, which is your stomach, right? That's your gut feeling. So, our basically our entire perception of reality is being controlled by these factors, and they're being controlled by the assumptions we have of what's getting ready to happen. They're being controlled by the prior experiences of what we perceive to have experienced in our past. And then they're being controlled by the traumas and the emotions of that perception of the past. So those are kind of the big fundamental keys that are creating what we project out into the world. So when we realize we're not our thoughts, we're not our experiences, we're not our emotions, that we are simply consciousness itself, we can then begin to escape the matrix, escape the programming, and start programming the truth of what we want to see, what we want to create. Is that what you're saying, Liliana?
And I want to tell people that's exactly it. In a nutshell, to be more specific, I call this time and illusion like we live in TV channels, for example, they're running simultaneously. So our DNA and cells are our frequency antenna. And sometimes we have our antenna and cells, they are our DNA, and they are based on a vibration frequency, and they all exist at the same time, because you guys know that time is an illusion and there is no past or future. Everything is happening right now, and we cannot understand this yet because we think emotionally in the past, and we think or we want to think positively for the future. But once we understand this time and this illusion is no past or future, and everything is happening right now, then you understand the importance of these TV channels, antennas that are encoded on our DNA in our cells, to help us to understand as well how important is the nervous system, that is our main reality frequency station. So I had to put this down because I have suffered many years from locked. It was not locked. I was diagnosed. I talk about this many times. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia for years, which brings you brain fog, forgettiveness, fatigue, tiredness, all these limitations that are connected through the nervous system. And this was my reality frequency at the time that was preventing me. And it was so important to look after myself. So in order to manifest and to do these, to raise up to this vibration that we're talking about, it's important for you to look after your nervous system. Your nervous system is the most ultimate key to align. The gurus call it the chakras, and to align with all your wishes and desires. So in order to master this realities that you want to live, you have to connect with your nervous system to be aligned. And there are ways of doing it. I'm just gonna speak about the four that I've managed to create for myself without any teaching. As you know, I had a spiritual awakening 2 years ago. So I start with the meditation, with grounding, with breathing exercises, which I watch. You should go on YouTube and watch. Joey has a beautiful, beautiful meditation. Not because it's Joey, it's because how I met Joey, because I was listening to that every single day to breathe and to help me to calm down my nervous system, because I'm a super nervous person. Everybody that watches me knows I speak fast and I want to say a lot of things all at the same time because my nervous system sometimes is unbalanced. And to create this balance and to create the health that I desire, because remember, realities are desires. I want health, right? So to create my health, I had to understand how to breathe, to meditate, to grounding, and observe my thoughts. And I want to tell you that we already mastered this in other lives. We just don't have to learn it again. Some people, we just can't remember. It's when we unlock this that we change from carbon-based to crystalline bodies. And this is what I've learned by doing these four major rituals, which was the meditation, the grounding, the breathing, and the observing my thoughts. And then by food intake as well, because there's 5 of them. I just spoke about 4. The food is a major part of this nervous system healing. At the beginning of the show, I spoke about how to manifest and how to change our DNA by starting with a healing process, which is complete doing it every single day. Every single day we're doing healing, and we open DNA that is dormant within us. When we change our foods as well, we help the nervous system to be more aligned, and then our bodies go out of the carbon-based to crystalline bodies, which a lot of people know. The yogis know about this. So you have like visions about your future or any things that you might want to create. It's already exists in another parallel reality, and I could not understand this until I become with my crystalline body, like DNA renewal cells every day, and then I start to dream about things. Okay, I know I go sometimes back to front when I teach, but I'm not a teacher. It's just purely experience that I've been through, and I was a bit confused.com. I was not asking anything to anyone. I just keep reading and listening to things that resonate with this new energy. So I become to remember all my galactic history, all my other lives, which happen simultaneously every time right now. So we think I've been this and I've been that, but everything exists in multiple realities. Correct, Joey?
Yes, yes. There are. Sorry, I was responding to a couple people, so I caught a lot of what you said there. But yeah, we exist in multiple realities, and it's the frequency you want to resonate at that is what brings us into the reality we desire.
But when we remember these past lives, for somebody that doesn't know how to tap into these things yet, is when you start to communicate with your higher self, which is
correct. Yes, because our higher selves, they know everything that has ever happened to us since the beginning of time, since time existed. We've been here. We've been experiencing so many different aspects of life across the universe, across the multiverse of universes. And we have all that stored within us. We just forget everything when we come back here. And for a lot of us, especially if you're watching this show, then in all likelihood, you're a star seed. You are a wanderer. You are an old soul. And you've been here specifically on Earth many, many, many times. And when we start to access the different vibrations, we start to access our past lives, we can start to understand what we're here to do, what our purpose in life is. And, all those past lives have built up to this moment in time. And this moment is our discovering that we are the Christ within, that we are the Christ consciousness, that we're part of God, the creator, and we have these powers. So we have to utilize and heal our past, not just the current perception of our life today and the however many years we believe we've been here, we have to start going back and healing each individual life that we've lived, because this whole journey now, we've had the karma removed. That's the beauty of what's happening to the world right now. The new earth that we're moving into, we've literally had the karma of all of our past lives has been lifted. It's like we got a free pass, but it wasn't really a free pass. We've been dealing with all of this bullshit and all of this struggle and pain for thousands of years, for so many lifetimes. But we've come back to learn each time a different aspect, to overcome it, outgrow it. And we're at a point now where all of the past karma, all of the past lessons, everything has been forgiven. And we're able to finally start seeing the reality of what we are. We're finally able to start connecting that energy, that frequency, to see behind the veil, behind that curtain, and to start understanding what is going on.
And this is when when I start tapping into these things, I was a bit scared, because these thoughts start to come in and people start to remember, well, not people, but me, I'm talking about me now, right now. So I start to remember all these things. So I've gained access to this quantum vortex device, which people don't understand how to gain access to. Then you start to get into the law of vibration. No coincidence, the law of attraction. I attract people like Joey and other people like Brian Scott, Miriam, and all these people that are now listen to us, and we are listening to them as well. We become to be one. The law of resonance, the law of cause and effects, the law of divine honest that everybody talks about and nobody understands yet. So I understood that one is everyone. And when I talk to Joey and Brian and Miriam and all these people that are reality creators and manifest big, Mark Hotham and the other one, Jerry Sargent, all these people, we start to feel love for all these people and for all things in general. Is when we really tap into your higher self and understand that everything is connected. Plants, animals, oceans, you name it, right, Joey?
Right. I think, let's see, Richard, he asked a question earlier, but he also just posted this few minutes ago when we were talking about the past, and he said, or do we block out the past? You know, there's a difference between rewriting the past and blocking out the past. We never want to go back and try and block out the past. We don't want to block out the memories of the past, because they're there to serve a specific purpose. We need to understand and see them and accept the past, even the traumas of our past. We have to start seeing them for what they are and why they had to happen in order for you to get to this point. If you still need to heal from specific things of the past, then you're not ready. You're not ready to take that journey, that next step. This happens in phases, and we have to go back. We have to heal these certain aspects. And by healing it, like I said, we have to understand what it was. We have to understand why it impacted us, what it made us feel like, why did it do what it did to us, and then let's flip the script. Let's rewrite it into understanding why it happened for the best good. Why did it have to happen to make my life better? Why did it have to happen so I could learn this specific lesson? That's where we start to give the past meaning, and you put whatever meaning you choose to put on it. The creating your reality is 100% your choice. So it begins with the past and the meaning we put on things. Like I said, don't ever try to forget the past. We have to accept it. We have to see it for what it was. We have to embrace the chaos that it is usually, and enjoy it. Enjoy this ride. Start to be grateful. I'm so grateful for everything that's happened in my life, even all of the bad things. And it's when you can start to harness that and that gratitude and to see it all happening for a reason. That's what living in grace is. So being in that state of grace, that's seeing it for what it was and no longer allowing it to affect us, no longer allowing it to take us in the direction it's trying to keep us headed. We want to hop off that rail into a new direction, and we rewrite it.
Exactly. And with that, when we understand these things that Joey said, we are mastering our lives completely. And by living in a state of not and true, because we don't want to be going back to the low vibrations, because everybody has sin. We were born with sin. And at some point in our lives, we might be dishonest. We might be lied to something. Very small, very big, it doesn't matter. We might be lived in poverty and happiness and hate and worry and, I don't know, low mood level, stupidity. You call it, name it, whatever you like. When you understand these things, those low vibration states, they get out of your mind. So you no longer look at human being as a stupid, as a thief, as a drug addict, as an alcoholic. You look at him as, or them as, people on their journey of learning. So you stop judging, you stop accepting, you stop loving, you start loving. So you come out of this state of low vibration state, whatever you want to call it, to a higher vibration state, which is going to resonate for you to attract more of your higher state. So your mood raises, it levels. It doesn't mean that you don't have bad days, guys, because we all have it, especially me on full moons. I'm just a quiet baby now. But it's fine, because I live for my truth and for my sovereignty. And when you start to live in that space, then you start to create. On the quantum field, you become your alchemy. You become your alchemist. And then you can create everything, because everything is in the quantum already. And we just don't know how to tap into, to bring into here, because we think it's another space somewhere. Nothing is there somewhere. Everything is here and the now. It's just we have to tap into it and bring it to your attention that everything is possible as long as you live honest, truthful, loving, everything that is good, basically. You bring it into your attention and you live from it instead of the other side, because there's a choice. To ascend, you have to have these choices, because this is the lowest of the densities. We came here to test ourselves and to see if we could get through this trial. And we are now on, let's say, on a trial. But when you find out who you are, you don't need to try no more. You don't need to go to trial. It's like you go into a court case and you're on trial. You say, no, actually, judge, I've been there already. Everything happens in now. I know how it works, and I want to operate in honesty, in loving, in all things good. All these things good's gonna attract more good, and they're gonna interact with situations, people, anything that is for your highest evolution. So when you live in a state of low emotions, in scarcity, poverty, and truth, you name it, you are forgetting who you are. You are giving room to create a lower version of you, operate on your lower self instead of your operate on your higher self, if that makes sense. I would love to hear, because I can't see anything, any comments, because I don't have access. If there's anybody there that have any question for me right now, if I can assist you, please, because this is what I'm here for, to help you to master this, your divinity, your power within. Please. Go ahead.
Here's another question from Richard. He said, so if we've been forgiven of our past sins, our past karma, if all of that's been forgiven, what if people find it very hard to forgive themselves? So this is, the idea. We have to remove and relieve ourselves from the attachments of this world, of this three-dimensional world that we believe we are living in. Why don't you answer that question directly, Liliana, if you want.
Yes, because people are attached to their emotions, Richard. That's why everything is the way it is. Remember, this is the school of learning. This is the real school of learning. Every single person volunteered to come to this school. There is no one on this planet that is not a student, okay? So some of us, when we remember we already been in this exam time and time again, then we stop those emotions. Then we stop. I mean, I'm not no different from anybody. There are days that I still attach, and then what I do, I switch. I think, no, why am I attached to this when I now know who I am? I don't need to be attached to that emotion no more. So it's up to me to switch straight away in order to not to be living in that state that you're talking about, Richard. Because the problem is people talk about this over and over and over and over again, especially now, but people are not applying what they're hearing. They still operating in the old belief system, in the old paradigm that is already gone, and that's why they can't shift from there. As soon as you shift from to a new reality, which is I know who I am, I don't need to be attached to these emotions because my karma has been now removed with the new energies. What can I do to improve myself? You become a person of service. That's the first one. You want to help people. I'm not saying you have to help everybody for free. I'm going to have to put my light on in a minute because it's getting dark. So you don't have to help everybody for free because remember, your cup needs to be full as well. And for me, this was the most difficult thing to detach myself from. That's why I'm breaking the family generations of poverty, lack, and health issues. Once we know these things, you're no longer operating from there. And no longer we're talking about the majority of people, Richard. They would not understand. They can be here 100 years, and you can. Some people are not coachable, and some people they don't want to coach themselves either. They just want to believe the news. They want to believe the government. They want to believe the power of others, the mother, the father, the husband. So they give the power into these people, and that's why they operate in the lower versions all the time. Once they detach from these things and these belief systems, they say, no, actually, I'm married to somebody, but my power, I have a voice. You understand that your higher version, your higher self operates in a space of authority, which not authority in a bad way, authority in help me out, Joey, because I'm lacking words. Authority in sovereignty. So once you know you're sovereign, you don't get attached to these beliefs that Richard talk about. Is that understood, Richard? Do you understand? Let me just put my light on because I can't see myself.
Yeah, it's starting to get dark. There you are. Wow. And then there was light. Boom.
Then there was light because I spoke about it. So these life forces, they just move once you tap into your higher self, your power, your sovereignty. You speak from your truth. You then start to speak from your knowledge. That's what I teach, but I'm not a teacher because it's the knowledge that's been given to me now personally. You want to create something for yourself. You want to start helping the world, and you want to honor, and you want to be honest, and you want to be intelligent. Even if you know that you're not, then your limitations go out of the window and say, yes, I'm not good at technology, but everyone is me, so I'm going to operate in a bit of everyone, and I can do this. Does that make sense, Richard?
He said he wishes you would have been his mother.
Ah!
I think you nailed it right there. Way to go, Richard. Let's see. The next question we've got comes from a new viewer, Marguerite O'Reilly, and she asks, I am afraid of looking at past lives. Is that normal? Well,
yeah, cool.
I was going to say, well, what is normal, number one? The idea of past lives to begin with is only something pretty new, I think, that we're just starting to all come to grips with and understand. I know for me, I've got specific techniques, but it sounds like Liliana's on a roll here. I'm going to let her go, and then I'll follow up.
So, sorry. No, if you are afraid of your past lives or remember your past lives, it's because you have demons to deal with inside. I think because past lives, you can be anything, but again, everything happens simultaneous. So when people don't want to look there, it's because they are looking on their self-worth. Basically, what I mean by this is everybody that I know, it doesn't matter which is the most rich or the most poor or the most, I don't know, the most successful, every single person at one stage in their life have self-worth issues. They won't tell you, they won't actually tell you, and that leads people to be either greedy or selfish, or it doesn't matter what they lead them to be. Once we master the self-worth, which is our best version, loving ourselves, happy, That's what I say all the time. Love myself, happy. You want to know who you've been so you can forgive yourself every single time, and then you can operate on a space of love. And when you operate in a space of love, you're no longer worried about your past lives, because you could be a murderer, an alcoholic, a drug addict, anything. You believe that those things will serve you a purpose to be who you are now, because you already upgrade yourself in this life existence. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for me, it makes perfect sense. Yes. Let's see. Marguerite said in Ireland, so many demons to get rid of, and she gave a lot of hearts. So I think you explained it well. I'll give a little bit of in agreement with you on that. I look at it. All the past lives we've lived have happened for a specific reason. We've come back. We've chosen every single past life that we've ever lived. There's absolutely zero reason to be afraid of any of them. One, they've already happened. They can't hurt you now. So there's nothing that can possibly hurt you. There's nothing to possibly be afraid of. The only thing you can do with past lives is to go back and try to become aware of them, to understand what happened. And what I've done often with past lives is, like Liliana said, forgiving them. There's kind of two aspects here. You forgive the past life, the person you were, okay? You have to forgive that person. Number one, you have to forgive yourself for allowing you to believe that there was any fear to begin with in it. But what I like to do is I think of the past version of me, and I tell itself, imagine every single past version of us has died, living an unfulfilled life. Something has happened. Maybe they died tragically. Maybe they just died wanting more. But the whole idea is they've all died believing that they didn't fulfill their mission. They didn't fulfill their purpose on earth. And I think that's a lot of the overwhelming feeling we have about our past lives. But when we become aware of who we are right now, we are accounting for, that's that karma I spoke about. We are making up for and accounting for all of those past lives that we felt let down, that we felt unfulfilled, that we felt that we didn't achieve the life and the goals we wanted to achieve, or maybe we were just a terrible person. We get to go back and forgive ourselves and tell ourselves consciously. I do this during meditation. I tell myself and say, congratulations. Thank you. Thank you for experiencing, for instance, maybe in my past life, just recently, I had to die a horrific death, let's say due to cancer. In that life, it seemed horrible, right? I can look back now on it and be thankful for that past version that had to go through that pain, that died not understanding why it had to go through that. And I can now go back, I can forgive those past versions and say, I understand. It was all part of the plan. You didn't die in vain. You died so that I could become me, so that I could find the true connection to source, to everything, and remember. And it's all just part of this beautiful plan that we're living out, and we're just becoming aware to it and remembering it. Exactly. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And when you understand these things, you take ownership about everything. Past, future, present is now. And you become to understand everything is happening at the same time, simultaneously in different realities, but all at the same time. Because remember, I said in the beginning, time is just an illusion. So it's a bit of complex situation that who's there? Steve.
Steve's here. Hi, Steve. And he's got a question. He said, can you explain the power of channeling, healing, and care to others? For me, I actually just heard this. I think it was this morning on one of the shows I was listening to. And, the channel, specifically channeling, we can believe any sort of things that we want to about channeling, who it is, what power, what voice, what energy is coming through us. At the end of the day, anybody that's channeling is channeling a frequency, is channeling an energy that's coming from outside of them in the universe, but it's coming through you. Thus, you are the channel. So you're resonating at a specific frequency that's allowing this to come in. It's allowing this to become known. It's already known to us, to you, to your higher self, but now it's like you're turning on a portal between the higher self and you as a physical being. And now you're able to understand that truth, or to speak those words, or to know what it is it's trying to tell you through that specific channel. Now, in terms of healing, it works the same way. It's the frequency that our body begins to resonate at, and it can't resonate at that frequency until we connect to that frequency. We have to go within and understand, that frequency of love, forgiveness, compassion are so strong, and they vibrate so much higher than the frequency of hate, fear, anger, greed, all of those things that have kept us down for so many years and kept us unable to connect to the source, to our higher self, to allow that channeled energy to come through. Once we eliminate those lower vibrations, we start vibrating higher. It is a natural progression. It starts to come to you. And at that point, you're able to care for yourself. You're able to heal yourself. You're able to start healing others, just as Jesus did. This is the same powers that Jesus had that is within all of us. That's what Jesus told us, that we all have the same power as him. He was an ordinary man that was just able to connect to a frequency and resonate slightly higher. And once he did, the floodgates opened and his abilities became known to the world.
Yes, and Steve, you didn't probably want to hear at the beginning of the show, because I started this show talking about this healing that is already a natural side effect of our daily cleaning. Okay, every single person is healing because we're healing, cleaning every single day to prompt ourselves to go on a higher voltage, so we can recharge these cells and awake the dormant DNA that is within us. And this is why important everybody talks about healing. We still heal. Every single day we heal. It doesn't matter what you're healing. It doesn't matter what subject you heal in your life. You're healing your past lives, yourself, your now, your then, But again, healing is the part that everybody wants to learn about, but not understanding that healing, it's getting out of the old you that was operating on a lower version to bring your dormant DNA to operate on your higher you, your higher self. If that makes sense to you, Steve. Does that make sense?
I'll see if he responds on it. Let's see. We've got a great question here from a new viewer, Conte Radutsu. I hope I pronounced that right, Conte. But he says, I feel the vibrations of those around me. It hurts me that I can't do too much for them. They are connected to matter. Their souls need help. How can we save them? I send them love and healing light. One beautiful thought, 100% correct in the idea that you want to heal them. You want to give them your light, your love, but you can only heal you. The healing starts within. This is a one-way road. Nothing happens it's not an external journey. It's an internal journey. So the more you heal yourself, the more you go within and love yourself, treat yourself right, the more it just starts to manifest for others. They feed off of your energy. You don't want to feed off of theirs. You want to let your energy radiate with the love and the compassion and live in that frequency, and it becomes effortless. The desire to want to help, and the thought that there are people out there that need to be saved, that they need help, actually is creating more lack, because you're coming from a place of lack, that they don't have it, when we all already have it, and you specifically already have it. You just have to remember that you have it.
Yeah.
What did you have to say? You were wanting to say something. I didn't want to.
Yeah. Yes, I hello contact you because he's always on my feed. We follow each other. Awesome content. He's very much. I can read you right now because I know who you are. You probably don't know, but I know you already. I know you for eons. He's very much connected with angels. Okay, so you are already on the angelic realm. You actually past like me. I do dream a lot about the angels, and I see myself in a heavenly state, and I have been there basically, and I remember who I am because I've been there many times. And you cannot change people. You feel their energy, as you know, because I feel people's energy as well, and this is why I know I know you. But you cannot change their free will. Basically, without free will or choice, and without this physical action from them, you cannot change them. It's individual. This is an individual journey. We are all one, but we are all on our journey. Some more they are will understand this in a speedy um, kind of way, and some people are more slow in learning. So remember at the beginning I said this is the learning school. This is the school of learning. So you're learning at a higher pace because you already. I can see your content. I know your content. It's all about the angelic realm, which is marvelous because you already passed the ETs, right? They don't exist in your world. So you are already vibrating a very, very high frequency. And this is a very bold statement to you because it's a good statement to say that I can feel people that are vibrating in an angelic realm, and you are one of those, that you are already miles away in frequency. So you're resonating with us for a reason, and you feel other people's energies for a reason, because when these energies are not aligned to yours, you feel uncomfortable if they're lower vibration. So, but you have to understand everything happens in your speed because you maybe don't remember who you are, or maybe you will remember. And I think you are remembering because you're sharing a lot of angelic um, photos and realms and things like that. So you cannot force people to get out of their limitations, right? The journey, it's personal. You feel the energy. You can help them by holding the light. That's what we do basically, all of us. We hold in the light, and as soon as you are connected, or you enter a shopping center or a shop or any place that you, because you are vibrating so high, people feel you, right? The your energy that vibrates at your level, they feel the good energy. They say, "Oh my gosh, I feel good about this guy," but the low frequencies, they don't feel the same. They feel, oh, there's something dodgy with this guy. So they will not match because they feel intimidated by your light. Your light is so bright, you hold it so well that you either scare them, or you either, the opposite word, which is you either attract them to you, basically. This is what I was looking for. So, does that make sense to you?
He said, "Thank you. Yes, so much." Says, "I love you."
I love
He
you too.
did say also, all I want is to save as many souls as possible. That's why I came here to Earth.
You,
100%.
sorry, Joey, sorry.
No, go for it. Go for it.
I can answer this so quickly. You do not save anybody. You only came here to hold the light. Sometimes you don't actually need to do anything. Just by holding the light, you hold it, people can see who you are. And I can totally read you because your light actually vibrates higher than most. And I can assure you this because I can read you. Okay, I don't know you, but I know you really well. Okay, if that makes sense. You do not come here to do any specific task. Just by holding the light, as you do at the moment, you're already helping thousands of people. We don't even understand what you're doing. You holding this huge light around you. Just by people connecting with you, they resonate straight away, and they understand who you are just by understanding your content. You don't need specifically to say, I'm going to sell everything and I'm going to preach to the world. You don't need to do, some people don't need to do anything. Some
Mhm.
people just hold in the light, and you are one of them. If that's if
Absolutely. And it's like some of the monks over in some of the monasteries in China and where, whatnot, even in Peru. I mean, they literally are doing nothing but meditating and holding the light. And that's their purpose because their light shines so bright. We just have to hold that frequency and continue to stay there. The frequency of love, of compassion, of forgiveness, it resonates so much higher than the lower density frequencies. So one of us resonating at this high level is equivalent, I've heard, to 10,000, maybe even as many as 100,000 people resonating at a lower density level. That's how powerful we are. And just one soul, add another. By the time 10 of us are resonating at this frequency around the world, we're actually impacting 1 million different lives around the world and their frequencies. That's the power of love, compassion. That's the higher density. That's where we're headed. And it takes all of us, and it takes us staying present in this moment, aware of who we are and what our purpose is. Don't get distracted. Don't get taken off course. Stay the course, and remember that this is an inside job. You don't have to heal anybody. You don't have to help anybody. You only have to heal yourself. By healing yourself, the rest of the plan, the rest of the universe will present itself to you. And don't rush it. We're here on a timeline. It's not our timeline. It's divine timeline.
Exactly. Everything is happening for a reason, and the speed that it's a higher power that is helping some of us. Like, I'll give you an example. When I started this journey 2 years ago, I know for sure a lot of people were laughing at me so much. And today I look at those same people, they all sharing content, they all understanding who I was 2 years ago. But they're behind 2 years. Nobody's behind, but I'm just talking about our round right now. Compared to what I was 2 years ago, I say they are behind, because they are now where I was 2 years ago. And at the time, they laugh at me. What did I do? Nothing. I was just lived in my truth. I understood who I was. And I said, okay, it doesn't matter who's going to laugh at me. I'm going to hold the light for whoever wants to resonate. And today, I look back and I say, this one, this and this and this one, maybe was kind of laughing. And now, look, they're doing the same. This is great. You just don't have to do much. You just have to stay in your power, be sovereign, and spread it. Sometimes it's just that. Steve, what do you say?
Yeah. Steve asks, do you believe that we can ask for divine intervention in someone's life to a higher energy? And absolutely. Yeah, I would agree. Yes, 100%. We can ask for divine intervention because we are the divine interveners. We are the one that creates this. And if you truly understand, you believe and have the faith and know that you're creating the reality you desire, let go of those attachments, let go of the fear, let go of the belief in the past and the way we've been programmed that we don't have the power. Bullshit. We have all the power. It is within us. We simply have to believe and let it fly. We have to practice it. It's making it habitual. We can, any kind of divine intervention, any kind of intervention whatsoever, it's yours to imagine. It's your universe to create individually. You may ask for divine intervention and healing for somebody in your life, and on your timeline, it can and will happen. I may not see it on my timeline because we're different experiences, we're different realities all playing together. But remember, it's infinite possibilities. So while you go off on one timeline, I'm on another. Liliana's on her timeline. We see what we believe we see, and you see what you believe you see. We create the same way, if that makes sense.
Is it Tina? Is Tina there today? Diana and Leslie?
Yes. Diana was here. Tina is still here. Tina Harvey. Yep.
Is there any questions from them? Because basically, a lot of us are still attached. Me and Tina have been through so much together, and I have been purging a lot for the last maybe 5 days because I've been through so much pain. And yesterday I said I'm transmuting this pain into a state of happiness. And this morning I woke up so happy. I put this higher frequency music on. And yes, we create everything because everything is in here. But this in here does not exist. It's only here to test us how we're going to step out from the old belief system to the new belief. Once we do this and master this, so everything happens so rapidly. Our state of vibration, our body language, our body movement, our frequency, our vibration, you cannot avoid to say that it's changed so much that every single person that you cross that day is going to be the state of your mind. No doubt. Everything. So it's important to understand first every single emotion that is inside. Because remember, one day you wake up well, the other day you say, oh, but I know this. Why am I feeling this? Because you are going back to the old you. Do not go back to the old you. Just say, look, I'm in charge now, right? Yes, it's painful, but it's not even real. It's just here to test me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it, accept it. I'm going to cry. Yes, I'm going to cry. But I'm in charge. I am the God. The God within is not going to allow you to stay suffering in there, stay in those moments, because we all have them, and I've been through them. I'm no different. So if that makes sense to any of you, it's divine power to change ourselves. When you change ourselves, the other people, the person next to you, you will see, oh, actually, if she can do it, I can do it. That's it.
Right. Perfect. Hey, we're getting close to the end of the hour here, so we need to start wrapping up the show. I know Tina mentioned the energy right now, and even Steve said, I can feel the vibration now. Guys, we are, before you guys hopped on, before we went live today, Liliana and I were talking, and for me, if her too, but for me specifically this morning, I like from 6 a.m. till about 9 a.m. this morning, I was just getting blasted with energy and downloads, and literally I was crying. I was crying on and off, with this epiphany, and this one comes to me and that one comes to me, but it wasn't a sad type of crying. It was a understanding. I was being shown grace. I was being shown moments that I understood at that point in time. And it was such an amazing experience. I was literally crying from joy, from happiness, from love, and embrace these energies that are coming through right now. They are insane. This full moon is doing amazing things for all of us. So 100% embrace it. Take your time, relax today over the next couple days. Go with the energy. If you're tired though, take rest. If you're hungry, eat. If you feel compelled to journal, to go down a path, go down that path, see where it takes you. You may be surprised, because what's happening right now is some powerful energies. They are transforming us. Oh, and they said today at 4:30 Eastern time, supposedly huge energies are going to be hitting the planet at 4:30 Eastern time today. So wherever you're at, pay attention to what's happening in about an hour and a half from now.
Just to wrap up, I'm going to tell you guys that I felt this way before coming in, because I do feel every full moon. Way before everybody else, I'm the first. I've been crying. I don't have a problem to say for 5 days. It was like a grief. I grieve for everybody that is not yet on this reality. And I felt like I lost somebody for 5 days. Non-stop. It was like day and night. Yesterday I was working in the holiday park, and I was dripping. I could not even see, because I was like running through. And I was like, why am I crying? It was a sense of grief, a loss. It was like I lost somebody really badly. So if you're going through that, it's because you're holding this light for the collective. And some of us have not tapped into it yet, and you're feeling bad. They've not yet understood what is here. Okay? And this is why we cry in different ways. Some of joy, some of grief. So the opposite.
On that, I'll finish up, because that kind of fed right into what one of the experiences I had this morning. And I think about things like, what still scares me? What do I still have fear of in this world? And really, the biggest fear, the only fear I have left, honestly, is my children and something happening to them. And by even thinking that thought allows that to enter into the universe, which is never a good thing. But what I did this morning, where I literally just lost it emotionally, was I got to see my youngest son, who is the most amazing. He is a light worker, a very old soul, and he is the happiest. He just turned 12. He is the happiest, most loving, most caring and giving soul I've ever met, honestly. Just an amazing child. And he's always so happy. He's always so understanding and loving. And I realized this morning, no matter what happens to him, he could live in peace and harmony for another 100 years. Something could happen to him next week. The peace of mind I gave to myself and I had today when I realized it was, oh my gosh, his specific journey, his mission that he chose to come back here on was not one of pain, suffering, heartache, or anything. He came back to experience love and joy. And that is it. And if anything ever happens to him, I can simply just say, man, what a blessed soul. I appreciate him and I love him so much for the person that he is. He doesn't have to do anything. He doesn't have to experience all of the traumas that we've had to go through. He gets to just come and play. He's figured it out. He's a God playing amongst gods with no worries in the world. And it made me so grateful and thankful that I just cried tears of joy to be able to look at him like that. And that's what I mean by rewriting the fears, rewriting the things that we perceive as something that could harm us, or the attachments that we're afraid to lose. That specifically is an attachment I've been afraid to lose. Not saying I'm going to lose them, but when we can put ourselves out of that attachment and see the love, the light, the beauty, the grace behind it, it allows us to grow. It allows us to release ourselves from the hold that it has over us. That makes sense.
Yeah, because all the children now, they come into that light. They come into hold just to experience joy and teach us joy, because they don't want to teach us pain no more. They were just going to come now and say, look, whatever you've been taught is wrong. We are here to teach you now how to enjoy and to be happy and stop the suffering. So, and this is a nice way of ending the show. Thank you so much, everyone. We love you so much. And this is an opportunity for you if you want to tap into your quantum realm. If you don't know how to do it yet, Joey is launching. I haven't sent any lessons yet, but we will in April, isn't it, Joey? We're going to.
Yeah, I'll be coming out more this week and next with some promotions for it, but we will be launching the Reality Practice Network, which is going to be epic and mind-blowing. You guys want to make sure you're following the Reality Practice channel, the Reality Practice on YouTube, on Facebook for updates. But what's already in the works, what's already coming in April, will be an entire network devoted to shows just like this, educational shows. I've got some of the best top people in the world that have agreed to come on, and they are putting out shows on the Reality Practice Network as we speak. They're sending in videos. We're getting them edited, and we're going to start rolling everything out that first week of April. I've got one of the guides is the top health and wellness coach in all of Australia, Ria. I've got a woman named Carrie who's going to come on and teach about financial spirituality. I've got mindset coaches coming on. We've got the shamanic warrior, Ricky Goodell, is going to be doing live channeling sessions to a live audience and channeling his higher self. My good friend, my brother, Owen Hunt, if you guys haven't, Bootsy Greenwood is his name. If you guys haven't checked him out, he's a professional comedian as well as a quantum teacher coach. He's going to be coming on board teaching specifics of quantum physics and diving into that realm. Got my brother, my friend Devin Walker out in Vegas. He's going to be coming on with his own show, talking about principles of Buddhism and entrepreneurship. Liliana is going to be speaking about her awakening and understanding what this awakening is for each of us. So like I said, we're going to have an amazing network. We've got the first 12 guides that will be on the show. We call them the 12 disciples. So the first week of April, we're going to start rolling out these 12 shows every week, and tune in. We're going to be adding more personalities, more guides each week, each month. I hope by this summer to have 20, 30, 40 different shows premiering each week on here. So you guys stay tuned. So many huge things coming. The world is waking up and we are discovering our true power. We're so blessed to have you join us each and every week. Liliana, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your wisdom with the world. We love you all. Stay blessed. And remember to always ask yourself, what reality are you choosing to create today? Bye now.
Guys, thank you so much. We love you. Bye-bye. See you next time.